someone helping you, or even if you don't have someone helping you. Okay?
That's it?
Sure. Yeah, and you guys will get copies of all this. It's just a form, but it's a system, it's a model that you have something or whatever. Then I bring this. This is important. They have to have the water heater brace, smoke alarms, and carbon monoxide detectors. Why? Because they charge a reinspection fee if the appraisal has to come back. So when I'm there, I'm showing up and I'm like, okay, we have to make sure. Like I show up and make sure that I tell them I already have the listing. Okay, don't forget you're gonna do these important things. That's why it's in yellow. And then this is still my favorite checklist. There's nicer ones online. This is still my favorite checklist because it's very thorough with what I want them to do to get the home ready. So I say, okay, this is what I need you to do before the photographer comes. And if I don't trust them, because if the house looks dirty, I make sure I go back before the photographer goes and looks at it again to make sure I approve of what they considered clean. Because it's embarrassing. I've done open house or even on my own listing where I'm like, oh my God, my definition of clean is not their definition. Does that make sense? So I bring that. Any questions so far? You guys gonna all have your presentation ready? So you're ready?
Just gotta read these and stuff.
You will be though. Because if you never get it ready, you'll never get listings. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Because you'll be scared, so because you're in fear, subconsciously you're not even going into open houses. You're not even talking to people. Okay? I also bring my resume. Hi, I like to, because I'm applying for a job, yeah? I made these on Canva and then I printed them through Canva, they're thick paper. Here's my resume. This is why I'm qualified to be your agent. Huh? No?
I don't have one. I was like, oh, Jesus, I suck.
No, don't say that. But, I always tell you guys to do one, but it's until I put your feet in the fire and say, Norma, meet with me on Tuesday and present to me, then it'll force you this week to make it happen. It takes 30 minutes, y'all. It's attempted already on Canva. Just do a resume. Well, what if you haven't sold a lot of homes? You guys all have previous job experience somewhere, yeah? Bring in the experience you do have. You can put on there that you're Ignite graduate. They don't know what that means. Right? So just put it on. Like my first resume when I got to real estate, I had nothing, I literally would put on there, so I would speak on a panel about something else. I'd be like, speaker at the Women's Revolutionary Conference. There was like 3 women in the room, but they didn't know. I did things with the church and I just put it on there. Right? What else is in here? I bring, this is a top 30 reasons to hire me. Let me tell you why I bring this. This is old, but the reason I bring this, and I only bring it with people I've never known. This is random people from an open house.
Okay.
I bring it because if they're interviewing multiple agents, like they are in this case, I will say, okay, if you're gonna speak to 4 agents, and you forget who had what to offer, don't forget, I'm the only one that left the 30 reasons to choose them. You're interviewing for it. They forget. They go, oh, was Iris the one that's going to do drone photography? Or was Marisol the one that was going to do every open house every weekend? They can't remember. So you say, these are 30 reasons why you decide, choose me. And this got me my Valley View listing recently. Because, I was like, hire me. And they're like, you know what? You were the only one that actually gave us reasons to choose me. So these are all little tricks that I've had throughout the years. Are they all going to work? No. But does it make me stand out different? Yes. And if it gets me 1 listing a year, that's 15 grand. I'm cool with that. It may not get you all of them, but it gets you something. What else is in here is if you go to the MLS, you can pull up all the office code for the office. This one's so old. We're still using one from 2018. But they don't care, just make copies of it. This is important because I bring up all the solds for the market center. You can bring up there's a code for the market center, right? On MLS. And you go and bring up all the sold listings for the last 6 years. And then you print the map. So I bring this because when they say, well, do you work Orange County? Do you work San Diego? Do you work LA? I'm like, actually, these are the homes we have sold in those cities. This may work for that one client that cares that you have experience in that community. So because Marisol sold a home, where was your home at? What is Whittier? or Cedar Heights, or so, yeah. So she sold the house somewhere there. Now, now her little sold house will be in the map for all of us. Got it? So bring that. Now let me show you. See this slide? It says, how's the market nationally, county, and neighborhood? This is where this is leading up to the pricing conversation for me. So I bring the RPR report. I don't like when they print all the pages because we're just wasting colored paper. But you know, but if it's a new client, then I want to bring it right to them. So I bring this report because if you print the free, who does not know what RPR means? Do you guys know what it is? Okay, so in your MLS, there's a tab that says RPR, Resource Property Something Resource. RPR. It's in your MLS under one of the little tabs when you log in. Click on it and you type in any address and it'll say different reports you can pull within 3 seconds. You do no work. It pulls it for you. And this is called a seller report. I like this report because I like this page of the report. It shows me what's going on in the county, city, nationally, in the neighborhood for them. So I go over this with them, and then it also gives a pretty good kind of evaluation of what the system thinks the home is worth. Okay. I think Ben forgot a couple of things from the checklist. I also like to bring to every listing a printout of what the address. Maybe he did. Let me see. He didn't yet, but I'll have him do it. That's why he leaves his packages on my desk, and I double check them before I leave today, because I have to go over the earlier one. But I like it because it brings you, it gives me all the data about the house again, and I make notes on it, right? How many bedrooms, how many square feet, any updates. So I just tell them, okay, this is for, like, these are some stats about your house. But those of you, this is the biggest thing I use that I love. How many of you know what an Altos report is? Do you know, Iris, what an Altos report is? Do you?
Isn't that what you get from the market report from Lisa?
Yes.
Kind of the same thing?
It is. Hear me on this, you guys. If you came today, just learning this is a game changer for your business. Just learning what I'm going to teach you next. So there's a company called Altos Report. They're the #1 research data company for every industry. They're amazing. When I got into the industry 12, 13 years ago, into real estate in 2011, full-time, 13 years ago, when I started here, what I would do when I would go on a listing appointment, I would log on to altosresearch.com and pay $34 a report. And I would bring it to every listing because it gives me all the data I need, and I look very smart, and it helps me get listings. Well, now with Lisa Favorite, she gives you access to Altos for free. I cannot live with this report. I've been using it, and I'm used to it forever. Okay? And it's very, very important. Here, look what it says. So this is how I got my listing in Santa Monica for $1.7 million, was because I brought the Altos report. Because I'm not from the area, so I'm competing against other agents that are from the area. So if you go here, I told them, okay, look, this is the #1 data company, and the median list price is $734. The median price of listings, it tells me, look, 25% of homes have experienced a price decrease. It tells you the data of that home. And this is a free report to you, and it makes you look just smart and confident. And you're like, okay, there is, just so you know, there is only, in your zip code, there's only 4 homes on the market right now. There's no inventory. Like, this is a listing I'm going to tomorrow. There's only 4 homes in your zip code on the market. So there's definitely, if we price it right, there's only 4 homes on the market, right? It gives them, so you go over, all you do is read the report to them that you got for free from Lisa. So how many of you are going to call Lisa to get an Altos access report? Bring it to every single listing appointment. Got it? Couple of things that are missing that are very important for my package. Then I bring a CMA too. Okay? A couple of things that are missing that are very, very important to bring. You really have to bring Google the address of the home you're going to go on a listing, and you bring in the Zillow report, the Redfin report, the ones from online. I'm going to let Ben do it for me. Yeah, it's been really quick, so I'm gonna pull them so you can see, you guys can see the difference.
Hello?
Hey Ben, really quick, I'm in the class, but I wanted you to post some things for me because I want to show them. On the package, there's a few things missing. So I did the checklist. One of the things missing is I want the printout number from Redfin, Zillow, all those of the house. And then I want the commission part is the most important, the agent short of all the recent solds for the commission conversation. And then please add them to the checklist so they're, Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay, so he'll bring them. So I want you to see that those do not go to listing without those. The agent short, you guys know what that is?
From the MLS?
Yes. So what you do is, he'll bring a copy right now so we can show it. What he does is he'll bring up all the sold listings in the last 6 months or 3 months from where the house you're going on the listing appointment is. And then you bring up it's called agent short. So on one page, it'll show all the sold listings. And I need that paper very desperately to justify my commission.
What is that?
Because it'll show how much commission was paid to the other agent. So I'll say, okay, my fee is 3%. Out of the last 17 homes that sold in your zip code in the last 90 days, let's see how much commission was offered to the agent on the other side.
Have you been getting that a lot lately? Because I feel like I used to get pushback on commission, but I feel like the last 5 listing appointments, that wasn't even something that they even cared about.
I am getting that because I'm working with a lot of people I don't know or were not referred. Like strangers, yes. Referrals, no. Like the ones all the listings I've been posting this week, they're all 6% commissions. No one cared.
Yeah.
But on the new people, when you're competing for other agents with other agents and they don't know you, yes, you have to be prepared. Yeah, but commission is you're right in the sense that the fear right now is the rates. So it's the industry right now is the rates. Should I wait? Our home's gonna go up, our home's gonna go down. If you look on Zillow, or you look on YouTube and you follow all these people, they're gonna have different opinions.
Yeah, because I feel like when the market was different, when they had lower interest rates, then it was like, well, how much are you charging me? Because it was just easy to get buyers. But now I feel like because of interest rates, they're not really worried more so about that.
About the fee, Now that I think about it, I don't think I've had any pushback on commissions this whole in the last 6 months that much.
Yeah.
But bring it, because if it comes up, you want to say that, hey, my fee is 3%. Oh look, they've been paying 2%, 2%. This is how I do it. Sophia, so how much are the fees? They don't even have, with me, I'll show you right now how I do it. I bring it up before they bring it up. So that I'm going to train all of you to bring up to say, today, Yesenia, we're going to go over my marketing plan. We're going to go over why you should sell. Remember the script I taught you guys. Those of you that haven't been here before. So when I first get there, even on the slides, I'll say, okay, so today we're going to talk about all your options. Option number 1 is not selling. And they're like, wait, where are you going over that right now? Well, you do nothing today. Option number 2, we're going to talk about what would it look like if you rented your house out. Rent. And bought something else. Option number 3, what would it look like if you cashed out, got out of credit, and then kept this as a rental and bought something else, right? So that's this one. Rent it out and buy something else. Or what if is refinance an option right now? Do all of the people know? Do not assume. Remember this. Do not assume that everybody watches the news or pays attention to our industry. Because we are in it, we think that everybody's looking at the rates and everybody's watching the news and caring about it. The reality is that a lot of people don't know and don't care. There's people that don't watch the news and there's people that don't read the newspaper. There's people that don't know housing and real estate is not in their mind because they're not in the industry. For all of us here, we care about that. We watch the news, we see the articles, we click because we're in the industry. So don't assume that they know. So I'll say, is refinancing an option for you? Right? And 4, I'll say, okay, then we'll talk about selling. This is the first thing I do when I get there, before I start anything. And why is this very important? Because guess what? This helps me build trust with them, and confidence. Because I don't care who they interview that's more experienced than Shonda, that agent did not go over all their options with them. Right. And if you would have done this, I bet you would have got the listing. You're going to let's go over all these options. Which one do you think you should do today? Okay, so if not doing nothing, what are your goals? Why do you want to sell? And if they don't have a good reason, then maybe they're not motivated. Maybe they shouldn't sell. Or sometimes they want to sell and say, well, you know what, my mortgage is too high, and I want to get something lower. I've had people that I'm frustrated, I'm behind on my credit cards, I want to sell because I cannot afford my mortgage payment anymore. And I'm like, awesome, what's your rate right now? 2%. What is your payment right now? $2,300 for a 6-bedroom house. Like, I went to this appointment last year in Maranello. 6-bedroom house, $2,200 mortgage. And they're like, I cannot afford my mortgage, I want something cheaper. So what I tell them? There's no way in heck that you're gonna get less than $2,200. I said, not even garages are rented for that much right now. But guess what? I said, who else do you know that would benefit from an honest realtor that's not gonna just try to get a sale out of it? And I wanna be your best realtor. So right now I'm making offers for a buyer named Becca. She referred me by her coworker Rosa Barrientos. Rosa Barrientos is someone that I had this conversation with. And now, 2 years ago, now she sent me her coworker. And now we're making offers today on a condo in Maranello Valley for her. But the point is that because you build trust and you go and guide people, they will not forget you. I put them in my commands, and then I stay in touch with them with emails and text messages. And I invite them to events. So guess what? If you treat people right, they will come back to you and they'll refer you business and say, look, I want to be your realtor for life. And then another thing I do, I make them save me on their phone as a realtor. I say, let me save my contact on your phone. And I put realtor because they'll forget my name. Just look realtor up and I'll be there. And then under title, I put real estate. Just in case they search real estate, I still pop up. Okay? Those are the little tips that you'll benefit from. But go over all the options. And I'll say, okay, well, does renting your house sound like an option? The reason for this that clients love is that they've never considered these thoughts. So they just feel safer with me. Then if they meet with 3-4 agents, and I'm the one that said, okay, Marisol, before we even decided this is the right decision for you, why do you want to sell? Is this the right move for you? Like, should you rent the house out? Do you qualify for something else? Or should you refinance it and try to get, what kind of rate do you have? And even with the rates being high right now, if they have a second mortgage that the rate is 18%, and they have the first mortgage that's 3%, they can still probably refinance it to a 7% and have a lower payment. Does that make sense? So don't assume. Just ask them questions. Or do you want to, or let's discuss about sell. And now today I'm here to talk about option number 4 only after we discuss all these other options. If you guys learn how to do these 4 things, and you take notes somewhere where you don't lose them, because you have to learn this. I promise you, this is, and I've said it to you. Have you implemented this, Britt? Because remember we talked about it when we did this class. If you implement this into your business, how many of you have implemented it? LaShonda, Marisol from the last class, Britt, Ari, has it worked?
Yes.
Yeah, because it just makes you stand out. Like you said, you stand out, you put yourself apart from people that are not going to even talk about that because they're going in for the listing and they just want the listing. So you go in there with options like you care already off the bat, it's just a list.
They trust you automatically with that, saying, hey, this person doesn't just want to come to my house. She's giving me options, or they're giving me options on how to keep my house if it's an option to keep it. So it gives you that kind of credibility and trustworthiness.
Yeah, like I met one of my top VIP client now is probably Art, and he's a small investor. But I met him many years ago when I was a lender. And when he came, he didn't have any of his financials ready to ever buy even his any homes. But throughout the years, we've done a lot of deals together. Like every year I do about 2 or 3. He's a small flipper, and you've done his Maloof. Yeah. You met him before, but yesterday he brought me his dad. His dad sold the 3 units I just took, and then he wants to sell the 4 units next, and then his house in Montclair next. So that got me 3 listings, but because building the trust with the relationship. But why? Because I'm not just going for the sale. If it's really in their best interest to rent it out, then talk about that. Just say, hey, let's talk. That my client wants it, and remember this, very important, urgent. If you send them to any bank, any lender, they won't qualify unless they have a landlord history for more than 1 year. The only bank that I've ever seen that doesn't have that is East West Bank. By the way, East West Bank is now down to 30-day approvals, 30-day escrows. Aurora, they sold 17 deals with them last year. Right now they have a bunch, but because now they're at 30-day. Yeah, we'll go back to today. It's going to take some days for me to get everything done. Everybody wants to be a beast, and so they see what beasts do.
We have to wear leopard like you.
Yeah, right? Today I brought the leopard red lipstick, y'all are in trouble. Awesome. And the camera, who's here? Amber, is this a camera here? Are you guys recording it now?
Yes.
Oh, that's a big today, it's being recorded. Welcome, how many of you have taken a listening presentation class with me before? Raise your hand really high. Okay, this is different than the times you've seen it, okay?
Oh.
Okay, good. This is different. Today, what I wanted to show you is I wanted to actually show you like the slides that I bring, so you can see how I do it and how it's different. Okay? Are you guys looking for somebody? You guys are good? Everybody's good? All right, we got it. What do we got here? Geraldine! Nice to see you. Huh?
Mark was actually in the room?
For the video? No, it's okay. They can sit where they're comfortable. I just want to get started. I don't know if anybody else is coming or wants to go in and out, but I want to get started for everybody else. So today, so this is what happened. So first of all, welcome. Today I want to do a listing boot camp. And my vision of that is that, why is it 4 hours? The reason for that is because I want to show you what I do, and then I want you to actually practice with me the next couple of hours. Okay? Because if you're just going to sit in a class and take in information, it's very hard to implement it if you don't put it into action right away. Does that make sense? So I wanted to do something a little different today to create a space for you to, like, how would you do it? And, you know what I mean? And really role play with us. So the reason this class is happening is because I had around 10 agents in the market center present their listing to me. Like I went up to some of the top agents and I said, okay, here's an address, meet me on Tuesday. That's how Gabe, I wish he was here, because when Gabe joined the market center, he earned over $130,000 his first year in the business. But the first 6 months, he had not done any listings because he wasn't confident with his presentation. Because you're like, oh, I want to get a listing. Then you go to an open house and when they talk about selling, you shut down because you're scared that you don't know how to explain the rest. So what I did is I had him present his listing appointment, and then from that, he went on to take 5 listings within the next 2.5 months. And he's done very well since. Most of what he closes off is listings. I'm not taking credit for it. The thing is that he just, all it did was it forced him to get his presentation ready. It forced them to say, okay, like I said, on Tuesday you're meeting me at 4, and this is my home address. Like if you have a listing appointment with me. Does that make sense? So then that forced them to say, oh my gosh, okay, like that listing package that I've been meaning to put together, I need to put it together now. Does that make sense? How many of you do not have a listing package ready yet? Raise your hand up. You do not have a listing package? So you show up with a CMA and a personality? Yeah? That's what most people do. They show up with a CMA and do you have a listing presentation?
No, not yet. But I have.
Do you?
Yeah.
You have your package ready, your presentation ready? Fantastic, I love that. Geraldine, do you have one? Yes.
No, because when I have my listings, I'm already chosen before I go. So like, they're not choosing anyone else.
No one else. Okay, so you're lucky about that. How about you?
I haven't, I keep tweaking it though, after we did the, Finish Ignite, because I've just been like kind of tweaking mine.
Well, today you're gonna learn how you're gonna take every listing you want. Like, period. So, how about, do you have one, Marissa? No? That's why you're comfortable with buyers, and that's why you're only talking about buyers and attracting buyers, which I respect, and I'm proud of you for that. This girl's killing it. She comes in, she works Friday to Monday somewhere else, and then Tuesday through Wednesday, she's in here, and she is here 10 hours making calls. She's been leaving at 7 p.m. I saw her meet with 2 or 3 sets of clients last week. And she's just calling because guess what? No one's gonna come pull you out of bed and make you do this. So she's doing it, and because of that, I told her you should do more videos. And she said no, because one of my she does videos on TikTok. She said one of the videos generated 84 leads in one day. She goes, I don't want to do more videos because I don't have enough time to call her back. She has another job. So those of you that tell me that there is not, I'm so happy to see you. Those of you that tell me that there is not enough leads or interest in business, that is not true, because she's newer to the industry, And she's just doing the work, and she's getting, like, literally, she had 84 inquiries off of one video, and that's her average per video, she does one a week. That's really, really good. So I was really excited to have Marisol, like, the day she joined, she's in here she's here on her days off, like, doing the work. Okay, awesome, you don't have one? Presentation? Do you there? Half one? Got it.
Yeah.
You have one? Wonderful. And Adam, do you have one?
I have one.
Ladies, do you have one yet? No? Okay, good. So today, it's my goal that, and I'm going to open you up, I'm going to open up to say that I want this to be, this is not going to be a class I teach every quarter. This is not a class, this is a workshop. Okay? And what a workshop means is that today I wanted to show you kind of like, so this presentation that you have here is I deleted a lot of images from it. Okay, so I keep it real with you guys all the time, right? So this presentation, I use this, I've been building on it, because all it is that it's like 80 slides. Hear me on this, I only use about 5 or 6 per meeting. I don't use 80. But why do I have 80? Because I'm ready, if they bring up, hey, I'm going to go through a divorce, and I bring up a slide, I specialize in divorces. I've done divorces before, this is how I handle those. So what I want you to walk away from you today is that I want to change your perspective of how you approach listings. And you've taken my class before, you already know that in my mind, depends on the client's personality type, what you're going to bring and what you're going to do. Okay? So I want you to understand that, like if they're a high D personality, you're going to be like you're going to attract that client, speak to them differently than if it's a high I, a high S, or a high C. Like, it depends on the type of client you're dealing with, how you're going to speak to them. Okay? So it's very, very important that we go there. And today my vision is to, I said, until you master your presentation at a very high level, because let me tell you the truth. If you have a personality where people already like you and connect with you, you really don't even have to bring a presentation. And that's what I did like the first 3 years of my career. But that took me to about 30 transactions a year. If you want to go to 60, like 70 transactions a year, the most I've done by myself has been 81 in 1 year. But that was in 2018 when I was also the OP of this market center and doing other stuff. Okay, so you can do it, but you have to be you can do it. I believe that until you master your presentation, you're not attracting listings because you're not confident. So people, you're not even asking for them. You're not even looking for them. You're just, does that make sense? Okay, great. So I'm really excited to kind of show you guys some of this and some of the workshops. So again, you're going to base when you meet with somebody, like what is it that you bring? Oh, you know what? I apologize. Let me grab my package. I have a real package. Jay has a listing appointment tomorrow morning. We have one together. We did an open house together. We did like mama and daughter open house this weekend. That was cool. Yeah, and so I have an actual real package. I want you to see what's in there. Is that cool? Yes. Let me grab it. I apologize. I'm supposed to be at the time. Let me grab it real quick. That was great. Yeah, I did it. But because we all was able to convert to potential. Stay busy? A neighbor and then I have 4 buyers.
Thank you. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, two. I talk to mom all the time now. Now okay, I
Still alive? Oh yeah. So I want to tell you where I got these questions from. So there's a lady, her name is Lori. Okay? And she is the #1 agent in Florida. Her team sells $1 billion in sales a year. She just came back to KW. She was my MAPS coach at KW. I waited 3 years on a waiting list for her to coach me, and then she only coached me for 3 months, and then at that time she stopped coaching. So during those 3 months, she gave me her listing presentation. So I used her listing presentation that her team uses, and what's interesting, I want you to hear me on this. She has 2. She has one if the homes are regular sales and one if they're luxury sales. It's a different question, so write that down. You may wanna have a package for like, why not have a slide for if someone wants to sell a mobile home versus a single family home versus units? Doesn't it make sense that you have different ones? So when I said share your listing presentation with me, hey! Hi guys, I'm happy to see Marisol here. I got the chulas in the house. Even Iris is here today. Just missing Susie, so come over here. We're gonna talk about that. Huh?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just kidding.
If you look like me, you're automatically cute. Right? You win, right? Alright, so today I want to ask you, please, we're here to grow. It's a workshop. I'm going to make you all work. You're going to have a buddy. We're going to role play this. Like, I refuse to allow agents from the lakes to walk around here with no presentations anymore. Because you're like, I don't have listings. Do you have your presentation? No. I saw TikTok today, and I wanted to post it on here on the screen. And I thought it would be funny to tie it to the class, but then I couldn't figure out, because it wasn't on TikTok, it was like on Facebook. I couldn't figure out how to download it and play it for you guys, but I was like, this is perfect for my class today. It said this, I don't feel well. Are you getting out of your house? No. Are you sleeping enough? No. Are you drinking enough water? No. Are you talking to your friends? No. Okay, so that's me. I don't have listings. Are you prospecting? No. Are you doing open houses? No. Are you calling people? No. Do you have your presentation ready? No. We can't do it for you, right? You get it? You get it? Okay, cool. So I know, Norma, you had something you wanted me to, we're not leaving until this is answered for you. You said, what's your biggest challenge? And by the way, at the lakes, I get reports, right? So one of the things that I've noticed that I look at and I'm like, oh my God, like I could tell how many listings go canceled or withdrawn. So you guys will work hard, get the listing, and then you cancel it. So I'm like, wait, I need to do something. Like before it cancels, I need to get my agent to call us and say, hey, I'm not selling this listing, help us price it, help us. Because what happens is you're canceling it and then someone else is going in there and listing it. Does that make sense? So I'm paying attention to these numbers and these reports, and I'm like, something's happening here, right? So with you, you said that when you go to a listing appointment, you bring the comps and you suggest a price, but you give in to them when they tell you this start off 50,000 higher.
Yes.
So today you want me to teach you how to convey and I'm not judging you because how many of you have done that before? Okay, we've all done it. We've all done it because we want the listing, right? I have a rule of thumb for me. If they have to sell, I will take an overpriced listing, right? Like if they say, Sophia, but I literally have mastered it and you can too. All it is confidence and scripts. Like I told Norma that, I'll give you an example. If you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor, give me, here, doctor, can you prescribe me some anxiety medication? And he's like, sure. Anything else? I'm like, how about some headache medication while you're at it? How about some weight loss medication while you're at it, right? If the doctor just does what you tell him, do you trust that doctor? Think about it. Sure, yes. Like, I'll be so nervous. I'm like, wait, like, can you give me, is this legal? Can you give me all this, right? And the reason for that is because what do you want to say?
No.
You want someone that's going to guide you, and you feel confidence in the question, right? There was a time, and so going back to this presentation, you will see some blank slides because this presentation got me 99% of the listings I ever went on. And then 2 assistants ago, it was deleted somewhere. But I found it again. And I'm so happy. So when I pulled it up for my class, I was like, oh my God, this is like my award-winning presentation. It had all kinds of pictures of me and my ex-husband, so I had to delete some pages. Y'all know I had to like update it. I have to update. I need no pictures of art in there now, right? So here we go. So pricing, we're gonna go over that today. Britt, tell me something that you would love for me to cover today.
For pricing?
No, anything that you're like at a listing that you're like, I need to get better at this or overcome this. Like, what is it? Or maybe, how about from your listings? Are you a master at of every listing you sell, not closing the transaction without them giving you 2 more clients? What is it that I can go over today?
I would say for me and my business that would work, that maybe like objections that maybe I stumble on a little bit.
Sure. Please give them to me today. Today's the day.
Is I would say it's, the objections that I get is like when I'm pricing something and I know, like I'm confident in my pricing, but say they have already interviewed an agent and that other agent is saying they can sell it for more and like even their comps aren't showing it. So it's like I am confident in my pricing and I'm confident in my ability to sell the home. I think it's just, once a seller hears, no, well, this person said that they can get me, but it's like, I'm dissecting like, okay, so how many homes has this agent sold? Like trying to understand where they got this pricing from and what my client needs from me too.
I love it.
For me to get the listing.
I love it. I said things to my personality. I said things, awesome, so they can get us 660, great. Let's start at 629. And we already know that this agent that already saw your home has a buyer of 660. As soon as we listed, I'll call him so he could bring the offer. I was actually on the other side of that. That's how I handle that. Like I handle it. We'll go over more,
You know what it is too? It's every single one of us. Sophia, like every single one of us has our own personality,
Yes.
our own way of handling objections. And I think that is like the hardest part in this business is you're learning so many different avenues, but I think a lot of the times we get caught up trying to be somebody that we're not. And how can we cater those things and stay true to yourself and be okay with walking away, not getting the listing appointment, but understanding that, the objection that you're handling is only going to grow you, but you're learning how to do it your own way.
Yeah, and I really do. I really appreciate you saying that because I do want to say that my presentation is my presentation. It is not your presentation. And she's right because you're going to bring your personality into it. I've seen listing agents where I go to listings and I'm like, oh my god, like they interviewed someone before me and they have like a swag bag and branded hats and wine. I'm like, oh, I didn't bring nothing. You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? So everyone has their own vibe. But what you want to understand though is that you want to connect with human beings and your mind is. The quote I want you to walk away with today is when you take money out of the equation, you will always make the right decision for the client. Not every single person that you need to meet with needs to sell. And I build my business. I'm very, very blessed because I build my business. Like Ben's been with me now 8 months, and he's like, "Oh my God, you really don't prosper and you have all these businesses because I build these trusting relationships with people where they'll just come back no matter what." Right? And the thing is that you want to get to that point where they trust you, where they go, I met with them and go, do not sell right now, like this house still needs repair, let's do this. And when you're not coming from a place of lack, where you're not, and don't get me wrong, when I started the business, I was borrowing money just to keep my gas going on. I went to show property and my debit card didn't go through. I've had some very hard times in this industry. So those of you going through hard times, I've been there. I always say, just don't look broke. You can be broke, just don't look broke, right? And you have to be bougie broke, okay? You have to look good. But the thing is that you're right, and it is hard because you get so many different opinions. You get so many different opinions, and you're like, well, who do you listen to? One of the things is that after I had like a bunch of agents do their listing presentation here with us, what I realized is the majority of agents are working on. I don't know if that's in here now. The majority of agents are working with a great. They show up to a listing with a CMA and a great personality, and that is great because if you winging it does work. If you connect with people, they know you. You can wing it. You can wing it your way, but just understand that that's not going to get you to higher levels of that's going to get you stuck at about 15 to 20 deals a year. Because people that know you, like you, and trust you to work with you, and they really don't care what you show them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's what I've seen. They don't care about the
They don't care what you show them, they really don't. But what I'm teaching you today, I want you to think bigger because I want you to grow your business to other levels to where you get referrals from people that don't know you. People that you don't have an established relationship with. Does that make sense? I want you to be prepared. What if someone else says, hey, like for example, this lady came into the open house. We have a meeting with her. She's in San Diego tomorrow. And she's like, oh, I'm going to sell my house to Open Door. They're going to give me $650. I looked at the comps while I was at the open house, and I'm like, oh, the houses are selling for over $800 in that neighborhood, right? So the thing is, I'm like, okay, well, you could leave $200 on the table, or there's a way where you could even get the home renovated and sell it, or there's a way we can sell it. Like just educating her and she said, I have an agent that's a friend, but she's retiring. And she's going to, and I never, my strategy is to, I never badmouth other agents. Like, that's not. I just say, awesome, where's she at though? No, I didn't say that. I want to say that. No, but she said that was her coworker and that she's, will help her. But I was like, wait a minute. So I didn't say anything about her friend. I just said, her husband said, well, we're not thinking of using her because she wants us to sell it to her friend for $650. And I was like, I said, are you both open to getting another opinion from another agent? And they said, yes, please. And she called 2-3 times already to verify that I will definitely be there tomorrow. See what I'm saying? So you just say, I'm like, hey, they're looking for other options because they're scared. Does that make sense? So I like that. I like that you said that. So pricing, stay true to yourself by connecting with human beings and just looking for their best interest. If you show up with commission breath, they can feel it. Just know that, okay? What else? What other objections do you guys want me to go over today?
I have one more, especially for newer agents, because we want to help our newer agents too. But when they have an objection and they hit like a wall, like hitting a wall on a roadblock, and them not knowing, like, sometimes their client will say something, you're like, so yeah, like you're trying to get out of that because you don't have the information.
So when you hit a wall. Yeah, that's, by the way, I want to tell all of you new agents that I have so much compassion for all of you because I was a new agent at this commercial hotel. Okay? I was in this commercial hotel. I was you. I was like brand new in this new experience. And man, I remember what I experienced what it's like to be new at something again. And I was like, whoa, now I felt like the new agents felt because I'm like, what? There's like 17 reports I've never heard of. I swear, because there's a lot of levels to selling. I've actually sold land adjacent to a commercial hotel building and a business opportunity. So it was like 3 transactions in one. It's called a bulk sale. And there was financials from different people and numbers and math and reports and transfer of training, transfer of the staff, payroll. Like, it was something I've never done. So let me tell you something. There was a lot of times where I hit a wall. And I dealt with it with 100% honesty. I just told them, I've never done this, but I will find you the answer because I'm working with very capable people around me. And that's just how I did it. But yes, we're going to go over that because that's the fear. That's the reason agents don't go out there and put themselves out there because they're scared. What if I don't know the answer? But everybody was where you're at now. And no one will know the answer forever. There's answers in the residential side that there's situations that I've encountered that I still don't know. But I'm willing to learn. Does that make sense? Yes, I like that. Anybody else have anything? Have you ever gotten a listing that you're like wondering? I think the pricing one is a big one. Yo, Lashonda?
So I went to a listing and they took another agent based on experience. I'm a newer agent. I didn't have, I had like one listing under my belt and they were like, well, and I called her the next day and asked her, when she told me they were going with another agent, I asked her why, and she said just based on experience. This other person had sold more.
Great. So this is a way to avoid that? Is that a good question? Is that a question that comes out?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. And that will come out because what happens is that the other agent will say, who else did you interview? Mm-hmm. And then they'll say that person has not sold any homes. Mm-hmm. People have different tactics and strategies on how they do that. So how you can prevent this is when you do when you are setting up the appointment, you ask what's important to you in an agent? What's important to you? Because some people will not care they have no experience. They really don't care. Actually, Josue got hired on a listing, and his client knew that he had not sold ever a home, and he said he followed up, he cared, and I know he has no experience, but I want him to work with me. And I met with this client here with him. But he was honest, and they knew that he was his first client. But he asked, like, what is important to you? So if someone, they say, no, experience of an agent is extremely important to me, then at that time, you bring in an experienced agent with you. And it's better to go 50-50 with someone than nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? Yes?
I think just to touch on that subject, it has a lot to do with confidence and how you, even if it's your first client or not, like, if you're not confident, then the trust goes out the window because they know you're new, plus you're not confident. So if you were confident you had the answer to everything, or you knew somebody that had the answer, but you read, you reflected that confidence in your ability to find out that answer for them, then, that's where the trust kind of builds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Confidence does play a role. And in some cases, they still want you to have done it before. And I get it, because if I'm going to have brain surgery, I want someone that's done 5,000 surgeries, not the first one, right? So you're right. And to Jonathan's point, sometimes no matter what you do, you're just not going to get the listing.
You just got to do all you can.
Yeah, but you want to swing. And you want to swing. So today I'm going to show you this. So if I go to a listing appointment, I bring up this slide. There's cuter ones I bought on Etsy. If you go to Etsy.com, and they're like $10. I like them better than the command ones. You guys know I keep it real, okay? Etsy, and you search listing presentation. They're so beautiful. They're templates from Canva. They're gorgeous. So go there, and you can. So I already bought a very cute one. It's so nice. It has Tiffany blue all over it. But I still have this one here, and I wanted to show you. Like, this is the one I actually use. Okay. So what I do is, if I'm meeting with a seller, here where it says exclusively prepared for, here I try to get a picture of their house and their name and information and plug it in. So that way it's personalized for them. There's something, when someone sees their name on something, it's more personal. Does that make sense? So I pull that in there. And by the way, did we take attendance at this class, Amber?
There was an attendance sheet. Let me make sure we fill this out.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying that is because if you sign into this class, I'm going to follow up with you, because I expect all of you to get on my calendar and present a listing to me. Let me tell you, think about how there's 20 people in here. That's 20 hours I'm committing to, actually 40, because it takes 2 hours, to do the presentation and the feedback part. But I'm willing to sit down with each of you individually, so I will do my best to teach you all I know. But at least I know that you'll be better off than not having one to them. Got it? I want all of you to present one to me. Okay? And those of you that do.
Hold on, what?
Guess what? What I love is the app from Lisa. I love the app from Lisa because it's an accurate, super accurate net sheet, and it's beautiful. It's color. It has my picture on it, and I can text it to them. I can PDF it to them. So sometimes I've never seen this home, so I'm bringing the vet. Oh, this is a very important tip. Write this down somewhere. Sometimes I'm looking at the comps and I said, what price did Open Door give you? She said, well, they offered me $610, but I told him, how about $650? And he said, no, $610. When someone says that, that's your key word to do not show up to that listing appointment without a HUD at $650. You already know she was willing to sell it at $650. Got it? She said, they offered me $610. I said, this house, honestly, I know for a fact I could sell it in the low 700s. But she said $650. So I'm gonna be smart and bring a HUD at $650. Got it? So you have to listen. Don't do all the talking. Listing appointments, change them in your mind. They're listening appointments, not listing appointments. Don't do all the talking. The person, think about a conversation you've had with someone. Those of you that have never had a lover, significant other, boyfriend, a couple boyfriends, couple girlfriends, whatever. Those of you giggling are guilty. I hear you already. Okay? Those of you, think about this. When you're in a conversation, the person that speaks the most is that feels the most understood. That's why therapists are rich. They help you self-discover the answer you already know inside of you from the Holy Spirit. Right? You already know the answers, but they ask the right questions. So I ask an agent, why do you think, and I love Marisol, I love Susie, there's agents that are honest with me. I'm going to keep it real, Sophia, this is what I've been doing. I'm like, thank you for your honesty. I love that. Very honest. But I tell you, Marisol, just say, I'll ask in the listing. You're my seller, okay? And I'll say to you, Marisol, why do you think your home didn't sell with the other agent? What do you think? What do you think the sellers are going to say? Listen. Yeah, or why didn't it sell? They always say, because the agent didn't work hard. They didn't hear from the agent.
That the agent only called once a week. I've heard that a lot recently.
The agent only called once a week. Why? Because the agent in the beginning of the listing did not say what are your expectations. Because let me tell you something. Have you guys ever heard my ABC buyer script? Have you ever heard my ABC buyer script for buyers? This is like the best script for buyers. You guys want to hear it?
Yes.
You guys will love this. It's called my ABC buyer script. So I will say this to Monica, you're my buyer.
Okay.
Hi. Hey. Monica's one of our amazing agents that just sold a house. She stays home with a couple babies. Oh, did she come? Your dog?
No.
Oh, I want to read it today.
I ended up with 3 today, so I don't know consider
I
it.
said, oh, yeah, I really wanted to, I want to read this. The little 8-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay, so Monica, this is my buyer script, okay? But I actually have a form that goes with it. Let me tell you what the form is, okay? Because the form, oh wait, I'll erase this. I have the form that goes with it that you need to also do it. Okay, so the form, I'm gonna write it here, you can just go make it, okay? It's easy. So here, it's a blank form, and here say name, address, phone number, email. Got it? Just their contact info. So you meet with a new buyer, you're like, okay, fill this out for me. Give me 2 email addresses. I always ask for 2 email addresses because sometimes one doesn't work. You have another email. So I always ask for 2. Can I have 2 email addresses for you? Okay. So this is name, the contact info. Then here it says, what kind of buyer are you? That's all it says. A, B, or C. A means buy within 30 days. B, it's like maybe within 3, maybe within 3 to 6 months. Or C is only if a good deal comes up. I'm going to share my theory with you guys. My script and then my theory. Okay, so my script is this. Hear me on this, the script. Monica, please fill this out. Thank you, right? They will circle A, B, or C. Like when do you want to buy? This is very important that when you have a pipeline of buyers, because I'm sorry, there's going to be a lot of buyers right now in the spring market, I promise you. So you need to get ready. Get your buyer qualification ready. Get your outfits ready. Get your listing presentation ready. Because it's going down, you guys. Okay? So what kind of buyer are you? A, B, or C? So say, are you, Monica, what kind, I want, this is the script. I want my motivation to match your motivation. I want my motivation to match your motivation. What kind of buyer are you? Are you a buyer? Do you need to buy within the next 30 days?
Yes.
Okay, or are you a B buyer where you need to buy within 3 to 6 months? Or are you a C buyer only if there's a good deal? Only if something comes up. That you're not really, if something comes up. This is why it's important, Monica, that as your realtor, I know what kind of buyer you are. This is why. Because if you're an A buyer, and I call you once a month, you're going to think I'm not motivated to sell your house because you're anxious to buy a house in the next 30 days. But if you're a C client that just wants to buy a house like whenever a good deal comes up and I call you every day, you're going to think I'm pushy, you're going to fire me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I want my motivation to match your motivation. So if you tell me that you're going to buy, you're an A buyer, we're going to be texting almost every day and we're going to be seeing homes almost every week because we have 30 days to get you in the house. But if you're 3 to 6 months out, then I'm going to call you once a week. Once a week, we're going to touch base, make sure nothing changed on your end. And you're going to call me immediately. I have this pass that says, I'm being represented by Sophia Chacon, and it has 20 of my business cards, because if you go to an open house, this prevents you from having to sign in. Because you have an open house pass that says, I'm being represented by Sophia Chacon, call her if you have any questions. And that way you don't sign in at any open house, and that way your clients don't get stolen by someone like me that will take them. Okay? Okay, so and you're gonna do that, because if you're 3 to 6 months out, these are the ones you have to really babysit, because they wander off. Yeah. I literally lost my cousin's fiance, Omar, because he came and said, I wanna meet, I actually will only use you. Great. And then he said, but I have an email from another realtor, and I looked at it, it was an accepted contract. He goes, what? He's a military veteran and everything. He goes, oh yeah, I went on showing request on Zillow, and an agent met me there, and then she sent me these contracts to sign, but I was here in escrow. And it was a house with no taxes in Menifee. I said, when the market was really hot in 2021, I said, oh my God, I'm happy you got it. You know what I mean? Like it was a good house. But they don't know. Yeah. And that's why you have to tell them, do not hit toward this home. Do not sign in at open houses. You see any house, do not go to new builds without me. Do not call for sale by owners without me. Anything that has to do with the house, you text me urgently. If I don't respond in 30 minutes, text me again. If it's after 8 p.m., text me at 3 a.m. That's my script, because that's my schedule, okay? So I want my motivation to match your motivation. Why is this important?
It shows you how to navigate.
Because, yeah, this is my theory, and hear me on
How
this.
much time you're gonna spend, like how much time you need to spend with that person.
Yes, and this is important. The reason I brought this up, I got off track from listing class to a buyer class. The reason I got off track to my ADHD kicked in big time here, and the reason for that is because this ties into 80% of your sellers are going to buy. So don't be mistaken. You need to be prepared for buyers too when you go to listing appointment. And you need to have this conversation with them. Does that make sense?
Sylvia, do you think asking, like when you're intaking those too, because you're seeing what kind of buyer they are, do you think asking them, like, do you need help with your credit or do you need help with the down payment? Do you think that those questions are too forward?
No, they're wonderful.
Is that
that's
wonderful.
wonderful.
6 months?
No, this is wonderful because you said why 3 to 6 months? Because most of the time they want the kids to get out of school in May. So they think it's now February, and I go, you know what? You actually have to list now because by the time we get the home ready, get on the market, get an escrow, you'll be moving in May. But then we find you something else. So that's what we have to educate the clients. Anyway, the reason I got off, thank you, good question. The reason I got off of this, that I want what type of buyer are you, is because guess what? I believe that the industry fails, 85% of agents, is now more like 88% of agents fail within the first 2 years. And out of the 13, out of 1,000, 13 are left after 2 years. And after 13, only 5 are left after 5 years. We have this huge failure rate in this industry. And the reason I really feel this. It breaks my heart because amazing agents have walked through these doors, and we try our best to call them, text them, email. I do everything except pull them out of their bed. You know what I mean? And we try to get them in here, and but then the Lord may have a different path for them, and that's okay. However, I want to know that we did do everything in our partner, your partners, to help you not fail. You know, or at least in real estate, because people could be successful in other industries. Okay, but the reason I feel that agents, I believe that they run out of money, so they have to go find a job. And they run out of money because they work with C clients. And they do not know the difference because, warning, warning, warning. Did I get your attention? Mm-hmm. Warning. C clients disguise themselves as A clients. They are like, show me this house. They act like A clients. They text you, they call you, they want to see homes every weekend. But they don't make offers. You know these clients. You show them the perfect house they wanted, and then they go, the lemons are not yellow enough.
Oh my God.
Have you seen those clients? Yes. You're like, I got you a cul-de-sac, I got you the price, I got you the 4 bedrooms in the right school district, and they're like, the lemon trees they're not yellow enough. And they will make you go broke because you don't know better, so you think you need to cater to them. So when I implemented this script out of necessity, because I fell into the trap too, because I want them, they're gonna buy someday, I want them to use me. And guess what? The C's, they make you go broke in the business. Because you run out of gas and you run out of time. Because if you're working with, I'd rather work with 1 A than 5 C's, yes?
Yeah.
So it's up to you to identify what kind of client you are. So we're talking about buyers in the listing class because 80% of your sellers are going to buy. If you do a good job, they buy with you. That's 2 deals. Got it? Okay. So now that we're here, let's talk about back to the listing side. What is their timeline? This is important because when you're talking about timeline, the reason you're asking these questions, if you walk in with confidence, you're like, okay, what is your timeline? I want to sell in 3 months, and you just focus on your scripts to get to the listing, you have to care and go, okay, so you want to be out of here in 4 months, so that means you intend to buy something else. Yes, okay, great. Then we need to list the home. Like, you need to ask them because you have to educate them, hey, we have to find something.